Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. I hope everyone's going well for you today. For me, not so good. Right, sped up time now to the next day. We're back in Chellington Valley today, and well, as you can see, sped up time so I could get this back out of the dealership. But as most of you might know, well, some of you might know, if you follow me on TikTok, whenever it rains on my FS, things get rather interesting whenever you go into the field. So to start off today, I am going to go on, well, I'm going to speed up time for starters till the rain stops, but while we're waiting on the rain to stop, I'll go over and jump into the case. It hasn't just quite finished field number 1 cultivating, so I'm going to jump in and maybe finish it off while it's raining, and then we can go on to the combine, and hopefully once it stops raining let it dry up for a wee bit. But I think we should be fit to seed. Once it stops raining, we might need to give it a wee while till it dries up before we can run the harvester. But as you can see, I've been in the in the case already, and well, it's a bit of a mess, but there's only a wee small bit here left for the of cultivating to be done. So I'll maybe jump into it here, stick it on the quick time lapse and speed up time maybe to times 15 or so. I'll on to check the weather. It should be somewhere in here that you can check the weather. Or am I completely wrong here? No. I forgot how to check the weather in FS. But let's jump in here. There she goes. She's still doing pretty well, but kind of need to get fuel for her as well. So we'll stop the worker, finish this row off, and then we'll go and get diesel into this lady and finish off the cultivating. But we'll speed up time here to times 30 I think, and see how we get on. I think I've plant withering off, weeds off, lime required on, periodic plan. Yeah, plant withering off, so the crops shouldn't die on me too fast. It just might be a bit overripe by the time I actually harvest them. But we'll get this up to the end here, and then we'll go and get diesel. Lift that up and fold her up. And then I think we have a fuel tank in the yard. Oh, this is a mess. Although this lady's handling her rightly. I know there's some tractors on my TikTok there doesn't handle the mud at all. There's a case 5150 that I tried, and it wouldn't even move under its own weight, never mind having it on the back of it. But I would recommend going and checking out my TikTok, guys, if you haven't already. There is some interesting videos on it now, and there's a lot more to come. I've got quite a lot of requests to do for all different tractors and all, so stay tuned on it to see different sorts of content from me. But we'll go up here and get some diesel in this lady. Where is the diesel tank in this yard now? Oh, here. This should be us here. Yeah. Hopefully this doesn't cost too much. I'll just fill her with the best bet, because she's quite a thirsty lady, this. She's got quite a big diesel tank. 447 pound to fill her. Ooh, that's stung. But now that the harvest is ready, should get good lack of pound, and once we actually get harvesting it, if the weather would dry up for it, should get good money, but only time will tell. But I absolutely love this mod for the real mud mod. It's it's called. It's only on PC, but it's just it just leaves everyone in a messing session. It'd be great to be in multiplayer doing maze with this. I'll maybe do a wee video or two on multiplayer with this mod on, and doing maze or something like that, just for a complete messing session. But that being said, guys, stick this on to a time lapse and I'll see you whenever I'm done.
Won't you take me home and give me wings to fly? We can be alone in the castle in the sky. We can run away and leave this world behind. Please just take me home to a castle in the sky. Castle in the sky. Castle in the sky. Won't you take me I can wait another minute. I can wait another second to be with you for an eternity. I feel like I am in a daydream. Every moment that I spend with you, with you. Won't you take me home and give me wings to fly? We can be alone in the castle in the sky. We can run away and leave this world behind. Please just take me home to a castle in the sky. Castle in the sky. Castle in the sky. Won't you take me
Right, guys, there we go. That's that all done, and we're on to the next day now, before it actually dried up. And as you can see, with the leasing costs and everything, I'm stone cold broke. So hopefully now it'll let us start and harvest. It's dry enough now to harvest, hopefully, and then we can get like a pound in from the harvest. We'll go up here and get the combine ready to go, and then we can get we'll get this returned, because this is a big lump of the leasing costs. So is got quite a lot actually leased. I nearly have too much leased, but we'll go in leased items and we'll return this, because the bale one is pretty useful. But we'll go over here and hook on the cedar. I wonder, is it full? It's not. I wonder, I would highly doubt I even have enough to fill it. And will have to be full. It'll probably have to be filled again too before. I can finish, or before I can even get field number 1 seeded. Right, we'll close the cover, turn that off there, and leave that there for now. We'll jump up into the combine and go and get these other 2 fields combined first, and then we can get them field number 1 seeded once we can actually afford the seed. Say our best bet's go this way for the combine, and then we'll set it off on course play, And then we're going back and get the lorry, empty the lorry. Although I might need some way of cleaning up my chickens too. So hopefully this yields pretty well. I know I didn't get fertilizer on till it, like I was hoping to, but hopefully it'll not be too bad first time around, because we now have the fertilizer spreader, so we can at least spread some fertilizer on once it starts to grow next time round. But we need to get these two fields harvested now relatively quick, and then we can get the worker set off in field number 1 while we finish off harvesting these two fields. Shouldn't be too bad. At least this thing here is not too badly off the case. She's not very happy at the minute. I could sit and watch the maintenance hand drop on her whenever I was finishing off that cultivating, especially whenever it was wet. She wasn't a bit happy. She done it, which is the main thing. What if we park this in this hedge, something like that? I need to go in here and unfasten the header from the trailer. If I can remember my buttons, how to do it. Yeah, left control and yes. And I can hook that off. And we can unfold the combine. We'll have crop destruction on, so we need to be careful not to destroy too much of the crop, especially whenever there's no need to destroy the crop. That next field there, we'll have to destroy a wee bit of it just going in through the gate, but there's not much we can do about that, unless there's, by some miracle, I can get it squeezed in around there somewhere or another. Let's go in here and generate course for field number 2. Headlands, we'll go 3 headlands clockwise, go simple, and then we can get the bits that's missed afterwards, because there will be bits missed in the corner and all. Generate the course. That's not too bad. Hopefully not take too long to do. Go back and then we'll go drive the course. It says it's only going to take 42 minutes. We'll probably only get this first field done in this episode. That's going to go out there lifting that, but it is just the way it looked there. No straw out of this? No. Thought there would have been something coming out the back of the combine, but obviously not. Oh well, let's jump over into the lorry and get it ready to go. Always have to have the beacons on at all times. And then we'll run down and check on the chickens before we go too far, because I know I've skipped on couple of days now from the last looked at them. While that's emptying in there, I'd say there's enough feed. Normally there's enough feed for about 6 days whenever you're not using seasons. Should have enough feed for a couple of days anyway, but they need cleaned up. Where's the water? Water's alright. Maybe just top it up, just because it's easy topped up. Just turn the tap on. Close that gate over. I wonder what way is these fields here while we're waiting. So I'd say they're fully grew. Yeah, they're fully grew again, so we could mow these two again and get a crop of bales off them to get a lack of pound get up to getting a bit of ground hopefully after this all's harvested, and then we can maybe look about doing some silage next time round instead of doing bales. Try and save a couple of pound anyway. Let's jump up into the lorry and bring this over to the field for starters. Suppose what we could have done is put a load in the lorry and then sold it and then brought this over to the field. I'll maybe leave that this time around. I would say sure release the trailer, but we're on minus, so course play doesn't seem to cost, so I'll not complain. I think there is a way you can get it to cost, but I'm not 100% sure on it. Maybe some of you guys could let me know how to do that in the comments. But we'll take this over to the field now, and hopefully the combine won't be too long till it's full. Hopefully we get a fair bit off this. There's obviously no baling off the titty kale anyway, so that saves a bit of time, but at the same time it would have been nice to get a lot extra pound for the straw. Right, what way is the combine? Just coming out over there. 74%. I suppose we could nearly go and empty it now. Whoop. Help if I left the header trailer where it was. Whoop. Instead of taking the header trailer with me. Hang around. Hopefully we can have this rightly emptied by the time it gets up to the end. Can't remember how many litres this combine holds. Even if we flew down a bit down the side of the field, then it'll not really matter. Oop. I can get on around a bit, don't need to doze them all. Really need to see about getting a steering wheel, so much handier for steering instead of using the keyboard, but deal with the keyboard for now until we can sort that bit out. Well, there we go. This is the way to go. I think that only holds about 8,600 litres or something like that. So I'd say if we reverse back up here, by the time that comes back around again, we should be rightly sorted for emptying it again. Because there's less of a run around this time, so once it hits back here, then we can go back and follow it and empty it. I'll turn that off, and then we'll start this up and bring it over to the field anyway. We really need more seed in it though, but we can only deal with what we can afford, and at the minute it's not very much. Even if I can send off a worker for now, and then we'll turn on that the worker pays for the fertilizer and seed once it comes near empty. Just let it finish off that field. I know it costs a bit more, but whenever you're broke you can't really, beggars can't be choosers and all that, but when you get a crop onto this field. And what will we choose? Pasture grass, horse grass, I don't know what the difference in them is. Alfalfa, clove, wheat, barley, oats, canola. We'll go soybeans, just because they normally are worth quite a lot of money. And then we'll go into course play again. Generate a course for field number 1. We'll do three clockwise, headland passes, headland corner smooth, round, go smooth, headland overlap 7%, and there's no islands around in the middle of this, so generate the course. And then this says this time it's only going to take about 49 minutes to do, so that's not too bad, I suppose. But we'll go see how this is getting on. 60%. We'll empty this again once it goes down around the corner, and then we could nearly just take over and harvest this. Jump up into the lorry. See how the light goes around this corner. Left this very, very sharp. Yeah, I think I'll just jump in and take over the combine here and get this combined, and hopefully it'll be near enough full trailer. Fingers crossed it will anyway. The more full the trailer is, the more money I get. But I'll stick this on to a time lapse here, guys, and I'll see you in a couple of minutes. Alright guys, here we are, the last wee bit of this field now. It took a lot longer than expected, so maybe not put that all in a time lapse, maybe time lapse some of it and then cut a fair wee bit of that out, because that's going to be a very long time lapse. But that's a good wee bit. But as you can see, my money is rapidly going down. That's because the seeder ran out of seed and fertilizer, so it turned on so the helper buys it. Just to leave it a bit easier for money wise, it leaves in it can keep going instead of stopping and messing about. But that's the triticale field finished. We'll jump over into the lorry here. We've got a fair wee bit out of it, 64% and whatever's left in the combine at the minute now. But I think we'll go and sell this all now and see how much we have, and that's going to do it for this episode. But that was a pretty interesting one, because it started off and it was raining, ended up got our hole over there, and now thankfully we got one field harvested, and then the next episode we'll harvest that other one and get this one here reseeded, and then hopefully we can get a bit of mowing done and maybe get another field bought, all being well. Anyway, I'd like to buy another field, but whether it would happen or not is a different story. We'll go in here and see where the best sell point is for triticale. Where is triticale now? Right there. Hopefully it's a good price. 146. Just says 5. Where's 5? Going to the big map. Oh, it's literally right there. That's handy. Just shoot out, down around. Job done. There we go. 75% of a trailer, which is 49,250 litres. It's a pretty precise figure, but that did reasonably well, I suppose, for the size of the field there is and how little fertilizer it got. It should have got a bit more fertilizer. I think I'm going to go for cows, or maybe go for pigs next, just because they produce fertilizer. The chickens don't produce fertilizer, but, or well, not fertilizer, but they produce dung for as a substitute for fertilizer. It's basically free fertilizer. But if I can get some of the stuff sold in the BGA, we need a front, although we have a front loader tractor now, I'm just thinking, so at least we can torn. That didn't work out. But at least we can get a load of bales and sell them in the BGA next time round, and then we can have some of the digestate out of the BGA for spreading. Now hopefully I can find my way around to this sell point. My way the wrong way. I am, because it's in that shed over there. But at least selling in the BGA leaves, we've got the digestate, so we'll just need to buy a slurry tanker then to use it. But that would be a good opportunity now to maybe get a slurry tanker, but we need to get some stuff sold in the BGA first to leave. We'll actually have, what way do I need to go into this place now, or how do I even get into it? The sell point is right there, so I'm assuming I have to come in here. Or does these doors open? Nope. Right, so I'm gonna have to try and get this big lorry in here some way, shape or form. This will work out interesting, considering this fella's come through here on his wee forklift flat. So it's possibly going to end up in my road. But anyway, these things happen. All we can do is just hope for the best, really. So hope we can get this big rig in here far enough now. Wonder, can it drive in and then maybe reverse out? Absolutely no height here for tipping. So this may take a while and not get a very precise figure for least we're back into the plus. Yeah, it's going to take a wee while. There's 11,000 so far, so this should be a fair good chunk of money. This is going to take a long time. But we're getting a fair wee chunk every time there. We're getting in around 10, 11 grand, you may as well say, every time. So can't really complain. Like, we're up to 38,000 in the plus now. But I think I'll go and stop the cedar and then just go and fill it, because it should work out a lot cheaper than what that's costing there at the minute. But maybe I'll just let it go for this field, and then we'll get it filled for the seed in the next two fields. Hopefully that should leave us enough now. After we get this next field harvested, it should leave us enough to get to buy a field. So that leaves us with 69,000, and then by the time we finish paying this worker to get field number 1 seeded, it'll dropped a fair wee bit, I would say, but he shouldn't be far off finished. It said it wouldn't take much longer than it would take to do the harvest that field that I harvested there. But that one there is going to take a wee while too. It's going to take a bit longer than the other one to harvest. But I'll maybe look about upgrading my harvester too at some point, because field number 1's huge. And a lot harvester. It's alright for these slightly smaller fields, it takes a wee bit of time, but that bigger field now you need a bigger combine. Although I might sell this field here just because it's so hard getting out of the combine, and maybe look about some of the other bigger fields in the map. That's if there's any bigger fields, I'm just thinking. I'm not sure, but I'll leave this here beside the combine because it'll be needed over here in the next episode. With the combine over here, I'll go and see how the cedar's getting on, and that's going to do it for this episode. There he is there. He's only about halfway up the field. I thought he'd been nearly done by now, but maybe he's having a wee bit of bother. That's not too bad, I suppose. Not overly much left for the width of the cedar, like. But that's going to do it for this one, guys. Really hope you have enjoyed it. See you again in the next one.